The Browcast presents Antenna Heads,
covering the best in TV from today and yesteryear. Now your hosts, Brayan, Alex, and Cristina.
Hello and welcome to episode 77 of Antenna Heads, your favorite television podcast. I'm Alex Nauju, and alongside me, as always, look at that intro bug still kicks in even though I haven't done it for a while. Michael Casas is here, ladies and gentlemen, the photo blogger extraordinaire. Brian, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you, Al.
Good to have you here. Also here, that media maven over at ChrisConkers.com, Miss Cristina Nauju. Chris?
No H?
No H in
No
that.
H.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm good.
Good to
I'm
hear.
Staring at some cat butt right now.
You are. Serious.
She's got no shame.
Serious cat rectum in Chris's face as we speak. Also here, longtime friend of the podcast, overall great guy, Michael Casas is here. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing well, thank you, Alex.
Great to have you here. Want to get your opinions on some of the shows we watched this week. But before we go any further,
I'm going to cut you off.
you're going to cut me off, cutting everyone else off?
You
Yes.
thought you were getting into the intro mojo, but no, he's like, nope, done.
You did too good. Give
Steal
it
back.
Give it back.
A quick congratulations to Al for completing his collegiate studies, officially now having walked and received his cat skin.
I have. I didn't even walk. It's like stand up in chair, sit
Whatever,
back
you,
down.
You know what it is.
Yes.
You moved the tassel to the right
I
side,
did.
You know.
I did when nobody else did around me. Like, fucking idiots. Flip.
Because the arts and sciences guy didn't say anything. Like, he didn't say that you were supposed to.
I know.
Which was really weird because everyone else, like, you know, said, oh, you are now a graduate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of just like, I finished my speech.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Yeah, like, he made it very much about him and his family and, like, his ideas. And I'm just like, dude, this isn't about you.
Dude, it's running late and I want to go get Chipotle.
Graduates.
Dude, I want to get the fuck out of here.
You are all
I've been sitting in this corner
worse
with this
than I.
smelly
My
Asian
phone-
lady next to me.
And my phone died.
And my phone died.
Your phone did
My phone
die.
died at the very beginning. It was
FML.
awful. I was like,
FML.
how shall I live tweet?
Well, thank you, Brian, nonetheless. I've done everything now except actually get my diploma and also a job. So if you know of any jobs out there, folks,
Full-time podcaster is not a job?
that'd be great. Well, it doesn't pay. You know, the
No.
ads all go back into the product. Ads. Product.
Phony.
Yeah, hit me up if you have a job for me. Why not?
I got a job. Stop being such a douche.
I got a job right here. Assistant scheduler. I
No.
don't know.
Need
You were
no
saying,
help.
Chris.
Apparently scheduler isn't,
Not high in demand.
no. Oh, wait, what was it we were watching yesterday? We were watching something, and the guy's like, oh, I'm a scheduler for...
Oh, I have no idea.
And I was like, yeah, you're a scheduler.
Yeah, you were
Go
really,
you.
really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an actual job.
Also, we should all get together to wish Brian happy belated birthday.
Indeed.
Wait, didn't we wish me a birthday?
No, we're not good about that. Happy 31st birthday to Mr. Brian Casas,
God damn it.
who turns 31, as I just said.
In case you visit the first time.
Hammering that nail down. Good for you. Good for you. You've kept yourself alive for 31 years. And, happy, what's the opposite of belated? Future?
Early.
Happy early.
Wow.
I shouldn't be hosting. Hoppy. I'm hopping in place. Happy early birthday to, also a friend of the show, Philippe Arouju, who turns 33 this year.
Actually, it'd probably be belated because by the time he gets this, it'll
That's
be...
true.
Yeah, but we're wishing him early.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
The date is, yes, happy birthday, Phil.
Someone already posted on Facebook, so they beat us to the punch.
That's true. One,
Jeff
Jeffrey Smith.
Jeff Troll.
Jeff.
Okay, show's going off the rails. That's good. Show's going off the rails.
He's a poli-sci major, not geography.
Yeah, not geology. Before we go any further, though, I do want to say congratulations to one other person, Ryder Strong of Boy Meets World.
I was like, oh, Chris, what did I do?
No, you don't get any congratulations of
Damn
any
you
sort.
all.
Ryder Strong of Boy Meets World fame actually had his first kid today. Not today, but this week.
Aww.
Might have been today. Not sure. This week.
How old is he now?
What was his...
No. His
was
wife
his
of about a year.
guess?
Was it Corey's?
No. But he and his wife welcomed a baby boy.
What is
And
the baby boy's name?
I will tell you that as soon as this thing opens.
Baby
And
Boy Strong.
I believe it's Indigo.
Indigo Strong.
It's a good name.
I think you got to say that on mic.
Ryder Strong. I hardly even knew her.
No, you shouldn't have done it.
That was good. I thought it was funny. We're not Kannada.
Snip.
So while Al finds the name of that baby, we watched 2 new shows this week: 12 Monkeys and Backstrom. And we have a Tinny for you.
It's Indigo. It's Indigo. The Tinny, of course, is for favorite TV neighbor. Won't you be my Tinny? Sorry, guys. We'll cut that out, too.
Please.
There's going to be like 5 minutes of show left when I'm all done.
Cut that out, too.
Yeah, I got to sit here and not talk about something. All right. First on the agenda today, new show over at SyFy, premiered last Friday. It's called 12 Monkeys, or a dozen monkeys.
No.
12 monkeys, Chris.
Yes.
Tell us about those 12 monkeys and what they're up to. Did one fall off and bump its head? And 11 monkeys still jumping on the bed?
Cut that out, too.
Listen, if I don't try them, you're not going to have any good jokes.
On the bed and cutting their ear off.
Hit their head on the
Radiator.
On the radiator? Thank you.
Well,
I don't remember anymore.
You don't really find out how the monkeys fit in until the very end.
No, but what is the show about, Chris?
It's about a plague in the future that kills off 7 billion people in the world, and what's left is pretty much just not much.
Well done.
Humanity's doomed, essentially, at that point, and they realize that they need to try and stop this from happening by going back through time for some reason.
Do the old Days of Future Past thing and send some people back in time.
With a robot driver instructor and a pie for a friend.
That's right.
Yeah, that would have been better than this.
I actually enjoyed this. I'll tell you that much.
It wasn't bad.
It is that classic story of, there's trouble in the future. Let's send somebody back in time to correct it. The Terminator story, for lack of a better description. I thought one of the main aspects of the show, which I really liked, was how well it was written. I thought that, especially in its attention to detail and its caring about covering every little possible niche, I thought it did a very good job. I also thought that the characters worked well together. Cassandra and Cole, I thought they had a fairly nice interplay. This show is actually based off of the movie from 1995 of the same name, but the two characters and the two actors who portrayed them, I thought worked well together. But the nice thing about the writing is, unlike a show we talked about not too long from SyFy, Librarians, which really didn't.
SyFy?
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
No, that
What was it
wasn't.
from? Oh no, it was TNT.
TNT.
You're
You're
right.
thinking that garbage that was passed off as a...
Was it Helios?
No.
No, it's Helix.
Helios.
Helix.
Those H words.
And
It was
that's our
Helix.
weekly Helios.
No, and
plug.
Helix did very well, and I thought it's actually been going strong for them. No, I was mentioning Ascension, that piece of crap that we didn't even bother watching.
Oh, well,
Right,
I don't know anything about it.
Right.
But-
But as I was saying, unlike something like The Librarians, which, very little attention paid to detail, no real
Ugh. I don't
natural
even wanna
progress.
Think, please stop. I'm having flashes of
Yeah.
remembering that show in my head, and it's not good.
No real progress in terms of script, no linear progress. This show does a real nice job of giving you all the information you need and making you care about the characters and how they interact. Chris, am I wrong on this, or you tend to agree?
I think in terms of the story, it was well written. I mean, I didn't think it was anything superb, but I do think that they fit a lot into the episode.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, I was kind of like, is this really just, 40 whatever minutes of TV? Because it felt like it was a lot. Not like it dragged, more like just they fit a lot into the time.
And there are times when I'll complain about a show doing too much in the pilot, and I think they should hold back. But I thought everything that happened in this episode happened for a reason. I thought you were constantly interested in what was happening with the characters, where they were going. And there was still, by the end of this episode, there's still a lot more to find out.
Oh, yeah.
There's still a lot more to go. I thought in that way it was a really good pilot.
I think it was paced really well. But in terms of the chemistry between the characters, it was okay. I didn't think it was anything spectacular. I think they were good, but I didn't think that, I don't know. Maybe because it inherently feels like there's going to be a romance some way in it.
And I thought
it just doesn't at all feel like it's possible.
I thought the one negative of the show, or maybe one of the few negatives of the show, was that they really started to allude to or even tease that romance so early on. I mean, within like 10 minutes of them meeting, he already has a nickname for her. He's already calling her like Cassie. And it's like, listen, I know you're going to be friends throughout the series, but you've just met her like an hour ago in terms of storyline time.
Well,
maybe hold back.
You think he just met her, but he's been studying her life for so long to try and know where to plug in and splinter towards whatever time he needs to be in, that he might feel already a connection to that person.
But you wouldn't give her a nickname. That's just like, that feels like something that you would, as a writer, add later on.
No, or maybe he found out that that's what she was called. That people just called her Cassie.
But her boyfriend calls her Cassandra, or her ex-boyfriend calls her Cassandra.
There is that one scene where he does see her when she enters the party, and he does call her Cassie. But yeah, most people call her Cassandra. Even the scene before they go into the party, where she's looking at how he's dressed, and he's like, "Oh, you're dressed nice," and he compliments her, and it's like, "Oh, thank you." It's like, you're clearly teasing a romance.
You look like the ladies in those old magazines.
Yeah,
clean.
Splice that.
Okay, we'll work our way in slow. Price tag. Can't have that. Keep an eye out for Goins. Try to look like you're not keeping an eye out. Right, if he's in there, we'll find him. You look good.
Thanks. You look like the women we used to see in old magazines.
Which magazines?
I mean, you look clean.
I'll take it. Thank you. That's good. Smiles are good. We're at a party.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Cole.
It doesn't seem like he's trying to romance her. He seems kind of out of it and just like...
I thought that this had a lot of comparisons to something like Sleepy Hollow, where you have the story of the guy coming back in time, or in Sleepy Hollow's case, forward in time, and you have that relationship where you have the person in the current century who's a regular person, and then that person that they're basically acting as the liaison for in the current century. I thought this was a much better show in that aspect than Sleepy Hollow, which, especially in the pilot, really tended to do that whole, oh my god, I'm from a different century. Computers, what are those? I hate that. You mean
in this or in...
No, in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, yeah.
That happened a lot there.
But considering he was from 1776.
Yeah, and this guy's from the future, and he's talking about hamburgers once, and it's done.
He's from the future.
Yeah, but he's never had a hamburger.
So you want him to come back and be like, where are all the flying cars at?
Do you think he mentioned hamburgers 3 times?
Did he?
Yeah, because then they talked about
how they met. Says she bought me a hamburger.
Yeah, well.
That's...
Right.
Yeah. The only thing that bothered me was, I feel like for a lot... I mean, maybe it's inherent in his role, but I feel like a lot of the episode, he was sort of emotionally disconnected. Like, it just feels that way. Like, he seems semi-deranged, where he's, like, just walking around, like, his face is very blank, and he seems emotionless, and, like, he's just doing what he has to do, but, like, almost like a robot. Like, not, like, because there's any need or drive to do it. And then I feel like towards the end of the episode, when he finally kills Leland and sees that, that wasn't the fix that he expected it to be, and goes back to the future, I feel like there's more genuine emotion in trying to, like, in wanting to fix it and figure out what's going on, why did it happen. He didn't really seem to, like, care about what the cause was. He was just like, Leland needs to be taken out.
Right.
That'll fix everything.
I also really liked Leland Goins, the character, and also the actor who played him, whose name is it's very hard. It's a very Russian name.
Yeah.
It's Zeljko Ivanek. I heard him. I looked up an interview to see how he said it, and he says it so fast that it's like no one can pick up on it.
He's awesome, though.
He's fantastic. He plays the chief of staff on Madam Secretary, and he does a really nice job here of being that very clearly villainous character who, even though he dies in the first episode, at the end of the episode we find out his lineage lives on somewhat, that we meet his daughter, who, spoiler alert, the second episode's already aired. She becomes one of the team in trying to combat the virus, eventually. Because
Oh, really?
yes, they get her out of the insane
Yeah,
asylum.
that's a spoiler.
Well, I
Jerk.
said spoiler alert.
Yeah, but I can't, like, earmuff.
Well, maybe you should have. Take your hands up. Anyway, he does a fantastic job. I love him on Madam Secretary, but he's a very good villain, and he's not the kind of villain where they have to be so vague about everything and, you know, be creepily vague. He is just direct and scary, and it's fantastic.
So what do I do? And clearly after today's events, you view me as some kind of adversary or an enemy. Tell me, what do I do that is so monumental that the laws of physics are broken? To send you chasing after me. No. All right. Whatever it is, appears it was all for nothing. And this isn't personal, Cole. I just gotta cut you up. See what makes you tick. I guess that means you aren't gonna be able to go back to 1987 after all. You know what they call that? Paradox.
But at the same time, he doesn't know that he's a villain, or he doesn't think of himself as a villain.
Right. Well, you can tell he's not a good person, even if he doesn't know, but he's going to bring around the
He
end of the
doesn't
world.
seem like that bad of a person.
I go golfing with him. Yeah,
I know, because I hate golfing, but I would,
I would,
you know,
I don't
go
know.
to like a paint and drink event with him.
Guys, this is my friend Delchko. Hey, you want to paint
We call him Frost.
Want to paint a thermos or something?
Thermos.
A
Canvas.
ceramic thermos.
You
Double
paint it
blind.
over.
Brian, you have anything specific you want to talk about?
No,
Or catch up?
I just felt that the relationship between I was going to say Cassandra, Cassie,
Cass is the other show.
Cassius.
and Cole. I thought it was good.
Backstrom.
I thought it wasn't strained too much in that, you know, she obviously went a little crazy when he affected her. I like the repercussions of how any change has now affected future lines, but I also like kind of like the flying by the seat of your pants if they don't know, you know, all the details. I think it all figured out in the future. It presents something interesting in terms of a long arc of storytelling, which is refreshing from the monster of the week type approach, or, you know, the procedural approach of most other television, which I'm so tired of.
And I also appreciate it feels unique, the kind of quantum leap aspect you have going here, where Cole can jump into 2015, which is where this takes place, but also jump back into 2043 and communicate with the people who are trying to stop the virus, and then jump back. And it's very interesting in that you have these two universes essentially happening at the same time, and Cole, you know, maneuvering through both of them.
Not just that, but the fact that there's something. It's not like Back to the Future with a specific date, time, and place.
Mm-hmm.
This is very kind of, you know,
right. His powers aren't specific.
They're not
powers.
absolute either.
Right.
Or his ability isn't absolute. It's like
It's not an ability.
I can get.
It's a machine that does it.
No, but he
Ninja.
himself does it because he goes back.
Yeah, but it's not a power.
Well, he's endowed with this ability.
No, he has this ability.
I
okay?
wouldn't. It's a clock that's put on his body.
No, it's not the watch that does it.
No, it's a clock. Like an internal clock
I don't
that when it's done, and it sends him.
Okay, the point is, it's very cool, and I think it's a good
The fact that
story.
it's not a specific
aspect.
like computer. You type in the date and time. He tells her, "You meet me at the hotel," but it's not an exact date because he doesn't know when he's going to show up.
And I mean, even the small things in terms of writing are very good here. The fact that he proves that he's from the future by scratching the watch that he took off of her corpse, I thought that was really cool. It was a cool visual, and it's a unique way to get across that idea. Also, just the fact that Cassandra actually takes a moment and says, "Stop. You've given me a lot of information. Let me get accustomed to it before we do something else." I love that, just coming off of Librarians and Rebecca Romaine, just all of, a sudden just going, "Oh yeah, great. Oh, I'm the Librarian's bodyguard. Yeah, sure."
Yeah,
Done.
that's what the script says, right? Let's keep going.
I love just the fact that this is how a person would actually react, and that's how it was written. The one thing I didn't like was the character of Jones, who is basically the one who sends Cole back in time. I did not like her really bad Russian accent.
She had an accent?
It was really bad. And it's funny is later in the episode, it kind of starts to become like a British accent. It's like, way to not nail down your accent. It sounded like a female Colonel
Did you
Klink.
look her up?
No, I didn't.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's as bad as, what's her name on, Freak Show.
Oh, no. She doesn't, hers is a very stereotypical German accent.
No, not, oh man, why am I blanking? Not the main character. I'm talking Kathy Bates.
Oh, hers.
Yeah. Her accent is like all
What
over
is her accent? It's like I said, it's like Minnesota. That's what it is. I did not appreciate the character of Jones.
Mr. Cole, you are welcome to spend the rest of your life right here on the floor of the cell. It's one option.
What's the other one?
Depends. Do you believe in fate?
Sure. Fate, karma, Santa Claus. Very spiritual.
Spirituality is just science we don't understand. Yet. Call it what you will, but something led you and me to this moment.
For what?
A mission. One for which I believe you are destined.
Who are you?
Jones is my name. You're going to help me change the world, Mr. Cole.
But yeah, I think overall, it's a good show. I might not watch more of it, but I can understand why somebody would. There are positive aspects to it.
She's German.
Is she?
Yes.
That's appalling because it might have been the most ridiculously over-the-top, unbelievable German accent.
It is her actual German accent.
Well, I've already spliced it, so you listeners tell us at antenna_heads on Twitter whether or not you think that's a real accent or just some phony baloney thing she's putting
I knew
on.
it was going to be real. I was like, he's talking so much shit about how it's
If he hates it, he's got to be wrong. Like I said, overall...
Maybe she tried really hard not to, almost make it seem like it was unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Overall, a decent interpretation on by now, a classic story. And
also,
still a lot
how old do you think she is?
40.
How old do you think she is, Brian?
36.
Really?
Do you want to give us an age?
She's older.
Okay.
Do you want to guess how much older?
56.
Brian?
I don't care.
She will be 64 on February 2nd.
Good for her. Maybe her mind has forgotten what a real German accent sounds like because she's so damn old. And it's like, oh God, I better watch my Hogan's
Maybe
Heroes
you just
tapes.
can't handle
How German.
the genuine Germanity of her.
Yeah, there's a show title.
Genuine Germanity.
Let's go to scores on this because I think we're pretty much done here. Chris, what was your score on this?
I believe my score was a 3.
Mine was a 3 as well.
Mine was also a 3.
Yeah.
This is better than average, but just it's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you start watching it, and if you enjoy it, it'll. I think hopefully it'll pay off in the end.
Right. There's a lot of ways to go here too. It's not like certain pilots where you feel like you've seen the majority of the story and it's going to be, like as Brian said, a monster of the week thing where it's the same basic group fighting various little beasts. This feels like there's a lot that can change. There's a lot that can grow from this.
I don't know. There's a lot to be said for Monster of the Week.
Well, it's been successful.
Supernatural's got 10 seasons under its belt.
The X-Files might be coming back fairly soon, but
Yeah.
there are other, and in my opinion, better ways to tell a story. Speaking of good ways to tell a story, before the show, I was actually watching the second episode of Eye Candy. It gets even better, folks.
Liar.
No, it does. I'm not even kidding. The second episode, a very good improvement on the first. They continue with the same...
There's no... Was it Ben?
No, Ben is gone.
Ben is the only reason to watch that show.
No, I disagree. Because there's...
He's the best of the haircuts.
Had the best of the haircuts. He's still alive
I
in Chris's
refuse.
eyes. It's good because they go from Ben's death and they keep the story going of now we're trying to find Ben's killer, and they still focus on those 3 guys, or 2 of the 3 guys that they met in the bar.
Is dead.
One is dead. One has been benned, if you will.
No. He was completely different.
It's great, and the nice thing is they don't really stress the aspect of her being stalked until from the very beginning and until like the 35-minute mark, where it's kind of a shock to see what happens. It's good. It's very good. I won't say more, but it's on YouTube. It's easily available. I watch it on TV because I Chromecast it.
On MTV's website.
I know, but YouTube is so much easier. It's such a better service.
I love MTV's website. They're really good about that.
If you enjoyed our review of the pilot, which, come on, you did, go watch the second episode. I enjoyed it a lot. Backstrom. Let's talk about Backstrom, Brian. Tell us about what Rainn Wilson has gotten himself into here.
Well, let's start by trying to describe what this show actually is. It's a comedy crime drama?
Yes.
It feels more like just a police procedural with like a kooky cop.
Right. It feels more like, say, Castle or even like Bones than it does something like Mysteries of Laura, which is more comedic than dramatic.
I thought that's a good point you raised, because I thought this was what Mysteries of Laura wanted to be, and it didn't
Mysteries
get there.
of Laura wanted more comedy.
This one added comedy later, because I think it was just Rainn Wilson being too deadpan, almost like trying to make like he was dared to do an impression of House as a detective. You know, that's kind of what it felt like. Someone who took his job way too seriously. Life is over for him. This is all he has left. And
yeah, but like House mixed with Oscar from The Odd Couple.
He smokes a cigar, and he
he's
eats
super
a lot,
dirty,
and he eats poorly.
He eats awfully.
Right. We talked about this in the upfront.
Those are good observations, Al.
It's fair.
Trying to belittle my observations.
Play.
So this is the special investigation unit. So they're not very active as it is, and so they don't get a lot of high profile cases. So this is Backstrom, this crazy Oscar meets Dr. House, you know.
Oscar House.
You have the Allstate guy.
Why'd you laugh at that?
Because it makes me think of Oscar Mayer. I don't know why. Oscar Mayer mixed with my
baloney has a last name. It's House. All right.
Isn't there like a baking company that has House in it? Toll House. There you go. Oscar House.
Toll House.
Yes.
It's like you're making pigs in a blanket.
Right. So he's the slovenly cop who's very good at his job, much like House, but not good at any other aspect of life.
Or of his job. He can figure out who killed the person.
That's really the majority of the job of an investigator.
He can figure out who killed them, but like he'll break all these different laws to do it.
He's not good at filing paperwork.
Yeah, but he's awful with people. He's incredibly rude.
Right.
Very much like House.
Steals things. He's just awful.
Oh my God. I just remembered something I want to talk about. But Brian, please finish.
So, the first case is the death of a senator's son. Initially is ruled a suicide, but then Backstrom says, "Oh, guys, this looks like a homicide." Now you don't know if it's because he knew or had an intuition, or the fact that they bring up that homicides are paid meals by the county, and he obviously feels like he needs to eat. And then they realize, yes, it was a homicide, and he pins it on the killer someone who's complicit in it almost immediately.
He's like, "Oh,
that's the guy.
Talk to that security guard over there."
That black African American security guard. There are moments in the show where you can see them trying to write the Dwight character as a detective. The way Rainn Wilson is written, the way the jokes work, even the way he performs them in certain scenes, you can see that aspect of Dwight coming out.
Yeah.
And those are the good parts of the show.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, the majority of this show is Rainn Wilson and his character, who really lacks a lot of rounded development, and basically they establish his character by just making him a racist who, as Chris says, is slovenly and eats poorly. I mean, I was shocked in the first 5 minutes just how many times he said Hindu and made a joke about Hindus. At a point, it was just like, "Hey, lay off the Hindus." It wasn't even just Hindus,
and then he was like, "Oh, he's Indian, but not like you, Indian, like,
right,
Geronimo Indian."
Like 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians.
Yeah.
I arrested a white supremacist for killing 6 Indians. Not Tandoori Indians like you, but you know, the Geronimos.
You were demoted for catching a mass murderer.
That, and at the press conference, I sang 1 little, 2 little, 3 little.
And that's really what annoyed me is you have the possibility of making a really interesting character, but you're just falling back on the laziest writing where you're basically just writing Archie Bunker P.I. Mike, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was really racist, especially like the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
When he's just in the doctor's office and he's like, oh, you're Indian. Oh, you're Hindu. Oh, you suck.
Yeah. Mike is basically just a few days after Martin Luther King Day, Mike has encapsulated racism.
Yes. No, and then just, it's obviously House as a detective, and I just think it was, I don't know, it was just, I was watching it and it wasn't entertaining whatsoever. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just kind of there, and I couldn't get past the fact that it was Dwight Schrute.
Right.
You know, I think that was bad casting on their part.
And the thing is, there are some funny moments. Like, there's the scene where he finds out that the drug dealer's name is Visser, and he's talking to his assistant, and he's saying...
You thought that was funny?
No, he's telling her to look up Visser over the phone, and he's like...
He's spelling it?
Visser, Victor, Indian, Sam, and she just cuts him off. I thought that was funny because that was a Dwight line. That's what you would write for Dwight, because that's how Dwight would say something, you know? Even the scene where his bodyguard, the cop that he walks around with, the MMA fighter, the former one, they're trying to figure out why
Moto,
the student, might have killed himself.
Yeah.
And he just passively says, you know what's big with kids nowadays? Bullies. It's like, that's funny. That's funny.
I don't remember that at all.
They had the threesome. They had the threesome comment. That was kind of funny.
That was okay.
Average number of threesomes.
That whole exchange between the two of them, that was good too. But the problem is, the vast majority of this is Rainn Wilson.
So basically, the cop who works with him is good. That's what you're saying.
In the little that he did, but even their interplay between the two of them, that was good.
I didn't like the girl. Like,
oh, yeah.
It was just, the whole interplay with them was just dull. And I didn't like her character.
What's up with his gay roommate?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
His son.
They allude that it might be his son.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is. I think it's like...
I think it is because when Dr. Deb went to go say, like, he looks a lot like you. He, like, completely switched the subject or something. He was like, he was quick to...
But I think that's just like... I don't think it actually is. I think it's probably that it's like, he knew, like, he had an affair or whatever with the mom, but it wasn't his kid or... something. I don't know. Chris
was referring to Genevieve Angelson, who plays Detective Nicole Gravely. Thank you, Wikipedia. I think
it's just the character was written.
The thing I didn't like about her was she was so reactionary. You know,
that's the problem.
Everything that Rainn Wilson says that's racist or offensive, she points out is racist or offensive. But the issue with that is, as where on The Office, when Rainn Wilson as Dwight would say something ridiculous, Jim or Pam would have some sort of comeback that was equally funny. Here, this character doesn't do anything. She just like makes you feel bad because she points out how racist what he said was.
Yeah, but she also like really looks up to him, and it's kind of weird because it's like, why would anybody look up to this guy? And then they allude to the fact that, you know, his father was a big time detective too, so maybe that's why. Right. They give him so much respect when he doesn't really deserve it.
And in that scene, they like point that his father abused him. He beat him with the butt of the gun.
Then it got pretty like serious and dark, and I was like,
but it feels like so out of place in that
they're in the
they're trying to create a backstory to this character so quickly, and it's so flippantly done that instead of like letting that grow over time, but just giving it to you right away, and it feels rushed.
Because otherwise you're not going to be interested in the show.
I'm not interested in the show anyway.
There were some funny points like we mentioned before. One of my favorites was when they go after the kid in the coffee shop who was bullied by the team, the rugby team.
When Almond talks to him?
When Allstate talks to him,
and he talks to him and he goes, listen, I've got black balls too, because he found out that they put tar on his balls.
They put a shoe polish.
Shoe polish on his balls.
Dennis Haysbert from the Allstate commercials plays Almond.
or 24.
That's-
That other show on
Allstate.
CBS.
Every year, this many people set their houses on fire with frying turkeys. That's what I
And you know
remember.
what's funny though? Because so I watched it on the Fox Now app.
Yeah.
And
Allstate commercial.
it cut right after
I happened to me too.
to an Allstate commercial. I was like, oh, this is part of the show? Or but anyway, so he goes, listen, son, I've got black balls too. And then I forgot what else he said, and he just gave him a wink, and it was pretty funny.
Oh, it's not a handicap.
Yeah.
Son, I've been a coach. Real football, not bocce ball soccer, and I'm telling you to get back into school. Get back on that team. And prove to those boys, no, more important, prove to yourself that you aren't in any way diminished as a man. And I got black balls, son. Not any kind of handicap.
Oh,
Yeah.
and one other thing. So the MMA fighter, he had the card for the strip club.
Yeah.
And then Backstrom was like, how many times in your MMA years, how many times did you get hit in the head? And I forgot, what did he say?
He's like, a couple times.
A couple times. He goes, this is why you'll continue to bring us the food.
Yeah. And another mildly racist comment.
Yeah, it was. But
the black guy
loved
laughed.
it. Yeah.
No, it was genuine. I mean, some of this show was retooled. They mentioned that they had to bring more comedy into it. I think part
the racism.
part of it was that maybe it just was too subtle, and it wasn't enough haha funny moments for people to get.
Right.
And I think if they had left the show alone, it probably would have been better, because then those lines would have hit probably a lot better than some of these other ones. Because the whole Indian gag, the shot, that must have been easy to reshoot because there's only the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have shot that later. It almost felt disconnected, that part, from some of the rest of the show.
A little bit, yeah.
There were some other aspects that too. Anytime there were two characters together in a very simple set, it seemed like they had reshot that. Same thing happened to Bad Judge. That show, however, was worse. This show
Just had its series finale, actually.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I can't believe I have to watch fucking 13
Same night as
episodes.
this premiered, that was its series finale.
That's what happens when you bet incorrectly.
Well, I couldn't choose Manhattan Love Story, could I?
That's true.
Well, maybe if you had won last year,
I would like
you
to
would have
say-
gotten first pick this year.
I would like to say one other thing. By the way, next year we're doing it where we're doing the inverse. Whoever got the worst
I
picks
don't
first.
agree with that.
Well, too bad.
Okay? I
Me and
won.
Brian will vote you out, and you're done.
Well, I'll get in.
Well, maybe Chris will leave the podcast.
I end up.
That's your
How
mic.
about that?
Okay,
no,
anyway.
I'm taking my mic with me.
First
I'm
of
paying
all,
money for this
Mike,
mic. It's my mic.
I'm in no position to gain from that anyway. I get the same pick either way.
But Al benefits. So in a way, it's like you benefit. Anyway, I do want to touch on this aspect of the show, which really takes up a lot of time on the actual show. Stop asking yourself questions, Rainn Wilson. Stop doing it. It's super annoying. You
that's
do it like
his whole
15
character.
times, and it doesn't add to your character. It just makes me hate you as a character and as an actor also.
You're a recent Hunter alum.
Yes.
You're doing a podcast on a Friday night.
Yeah. I'm watching,
because he tries to get
I'm
in
watching
there.
Backstrom. I'm getting annoyed more and more. It's terrible. It really is. It adds nothing. What they were trying to do is basically stress his internal, thinking externally and vocally. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
it just becomes annoying.
And it gets annoying I'd understand if he does it once an episode and like to get into like the mood of, okay, I got to figure out what happened here. But he does it to everybody. The girl that stole the laptop in the library.
He literally does it like 3
the
times within 2 minutes.
bartender. Yeah. But it's funny because within the commercials on the Fox Now app, they show like a behind the scenes thing, and since it's the pilot, they show like
It's him asking himself other questions.
No, so it's the one of the writers or whatever it is. They're talking about that, and while they're trying to explain it, I still had no idea why they did it. I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
I'm an underpaid Hindu police doctor. How much payola would it take to pass a guy on his physical? Nobody gets hurt.
Honestly, it just got to the point where it was just a ridiculous amount. You would never add this many. It was more than the amount of Hindu jokes, which is shocking.
One thing that I really hated was right in the beginning when they, find out that the kid was murdered instead of, committing suicide. He goes, we got to pin this on someone so we could get free lunch out of it. Because if it's a homicide, we're on the clock or whatever it is all day or something. And he turns around and just points to a random security guard.
Yep.
He goes, it was him. And then he goes, okay, let's go to lunch. And who is it? It was him.
It was
the
him.
guy
He
that
was
he
involved,
pointed out.
yeah.
I was like, all right, this is a little too cheesy.
I mean, that's the thing. It's that they have a decent concept of a main character, but they are really just phoning it in terms of writing, and it's sad because if they were to work harder, they could possibly have an interesting show. Some of the background characters aren't that bad. I did agree with Chris that the female Genevieve is just terrible. She has no character. Her character is reacting.
I like that
I do like Almond, though.
It seemed like they were giving the only other real female character, the French girl, some more sass. But at the same time, I was just like, you're interested in him.
Yeah, her character is that she's attracted to him.
Which I was like, why?
Have you seen yourself? Have you seen Rainn Wilson?
It's for the green card.
Not even that. Like, not even because she's gorgeous. Not because of that. But like, even if you weren't, what could you see in him?
Right.
Like,
she likes the bad boys who live on boats.
A racist asshole who doesn't take care of himself and is a jerk to everyone.
In Russia, racist.
It's a small town. He's pretty much a big deal.
It's Portland. It's a pretty
is it Portland?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know it was Portland.
Because he comes out of the Portland
and they say
police station.
Times,
I thought it was another town in Oregon. Okay, whatever. Anyway, it's Portland. You know, there's no big names.
Rainy.
He's kind of a big deal. He comes, his dad was a big deal.
But it's sad that the two female characters, one is her character is that she's in love with a guy, and the other one is that she reacts to what the guy does.
She's very she's just boring.
Yeah.
Like either you give her like the bitchy characteristic where, everything he does she definitely wants to go against because she's all, about feminism and blah blah blah. Or you give her like kind of a comedic side to her. Like,
and that's
be
what
funny.
I would have done. I would have had her sassing him back, albeit, not you fucking idiot, stop doing that. Yeah. But, giving her some funny lines back at him to show that what he's saying is ridiculous. That's what they did with All in the Family.
Kind of like a Bones type thing.
Yeah.
Not without the love interest, obviously.
Yeah, without the bones. All in all, I was not happy with the show. I did like aspects of it, but I gave it a 2 out of 5, and I think I'm being a little bit charitable.
I gave it a 1.5, and I will not be tuning in next week.
I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Really?
Actually, I liked it.
Well, what did you like about it? Because we didn't hear a lot from you. But what were your positives on it, bro?
No, I enjoyed the comedy or the troupe, let's say. I think that if they have interesting cases, I think this show has the potential to get another season. It's never going to be more than a 3.5. You're never going to get anything better than that. These episodes are going to be pretty much average all the way. But sometimes you do need that. And as I said, with 12 Monkeys, it was nice. It wasn't a procedural. This one is going to be a procedural. There's no way you're going to get overarching, long story arcs. But at the same time, if you have the charisma between the characters and you have you build up an interesting team, I think there's potential there. I thought the weakest link was definitely, we mentioned the partner, but I would like to see more of Backstrom and Allstate. I would like to see more of Moto.
Yeah.
And more of the forensic guy that nobody likes, Niedermeyer.
Yes, the one who speaks too eloquently for. He's the Felix.
Yeah, and then plus it's Portland. You have it in an interesting city.
I hate that guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I hate the actor.
Oh, whatever.
He's just bad.
You have an interesting city. So Portland, if they explore the city and the setting, offers them the potential for some interesting cases. I think if they limit themselves to that world and not try and get too creative and cute, they could have a decent show. Now, is it going to be, in syndication for 100 episodes, all that kind of stuff? I don't even know if it's going to be renewed for season 2, but it's a decent show for Fox.
You 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I like this. I thought, based on what I read initially and from what I saw in the pilot, the show was better than I thought the pilot showed.
The upfront, you mean?
The upfront. And just that fact that it's been it was kind of the opposite of almost pretty much everything else we saw, where you watch the upfront and it's the best stuff. This one left a little bit there. A lot of the jokes that they mentioned, like we all mentioned, the subtle jokes weren't in the upfront.
Right.
And it was nice that they saved something for you. So maybe it was just that kind of clouded it, but I kind of enjoyed this. Although, like we said, it's pretty much House with Rainn Wilson. It's Dwight Schrute House Oscar. Schrute House Oscar.
Chris, your rating on this?
I gave it a 1.5.
1.5. You carry on Mike's
Solidary
ratings.
lineage.
Very good. Fair enough. I don't know. Hey, if I speak quickly, nobody notices.
How did it do? Ratings wise?
In the ratings, this didn't do that bad, but to be fair, it was helped by the fact that Scandal wasn't on.
Well, Scandal hasn't been doing as well anyway.
It would still have crushed this rating.
Maybe, but it's Fox. So what are the numbers?
This premiered Thursday at 9, as I said. I didn't say, but I said it a second ago. Backstrom, the series premiere, 2.0 in 18 to 49 with a 6 share and 7.98 million viewers.
That's good.
That's good. Still beat... it lost to 2.5 Men, which had a 2.3 rating and a 7 share, 9.5 million viewers.
But considering this is a Fox show, it's not... What was the lead-in?
The lead-in was American Idol.
All right.
And it had a 2.7 rating in terms of 18 to 40.
Yeah, but still, the fact that that show's even on still. But
yeah, but it's ratings.
Nonetheless, that's good ratings for a Fox show.
It is. I would point out that, as I said, ABC wasn't airing Scandal, which is a big, ratings getter for them, especially in that 18 to 49 section. And they were airing a 2-hour episode of The Taste, which is that stupid one with the spoon.
I like that one.
So that didn't pull a lot of ratings. That had a 0.8 in terms of 18 to 49. So
right.
It's an okay start, but when they get stiffer competition in a week when Scandal returns, they might not be doing so well.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it all depends on what the story is. If it's some cheesy, weird story that, again, like some convoluted thing, people are going to be like, okay, I see this already.
12 Monkeys, by the way, which premiered on the 19th. Well, it premiered last Friday, let's say, because I know that 16th. I believe.
16th.
That had 2.3 million viewers.
Ah, that's pretty good.
And 1 million viewers in 18 to 49.
That's the same number as Helix had.
Yes.
Close.
Yes, but it actually grew significantly from its lead-in, 85%.
That's not hard to do on SyFy.
No, but it's still.
What was the lead-in? Face Off?
Probably.
Yeah, come on. How many? This is Face Off, season 13.
I haven't seen it, but that's always been an interesting show, but I've never actually gone and seen.
I watched a couple episodes of it. It's interesting, just to see something different.
Yeah. Speaking of interesting things.
Hey, did you guys check out Mozart in the Jungle?
No, well, we saw the first episode, but everyone's been talking about it, but in all honesty, Transparent is the one to watch.
No, I watched Mozart in the Jungle.
Ugh.
I finished it. It was good. Really good. I liked it a lot.
Oh, there you go.
To the point where I'm actually really hoping they decide to make a season 2.
They probably will. They've had enough acclaim to it.
The fact that this show, is on Amazon, Transparent, obviously, which when we even spoke about it. That was a show, and if you go back to listen to the podcast,
go back because
I liked it. If you remember,
what you'll hear me say is this show is great. All of these other shows suck.
No, but
in comparison,
not just that. We did mention that was a show that was going to get Amazon awards.
Oh yeah, it was going to be the House of Cards of Amazon.
Yeah, but
it was that good, and it still is.
I gotta listen back to see where I put Mozart in the Jungle compared. I might have been second, or maybe
I think I had it third under not the After, but the other one with the investigator, Bosch.
Backstrom Bosch.
Yes, you're just hitting them out of the park today.
Well, they put it under Bosch.
Mozart in the Jungle.
I liked it way better than Bosch.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Bosch. I thought it was good.
I didn't like
the story
Bosch.
It was told.
I thought it was boring.
But Mozart in the Jungle is very good. I think it takes about episode 4 really hits its stride, but it's funny and enjoyable. I told Chris she'd like it. If you like the pilot,
knew that I'd like it.
Wow, sorry.
When we watched the first episode.
You know what I know you're bound to like?
Playing with my cat's ear, I'm sorry.
You are petting Kitty. You're bound to like our Tinny, because it's returning! Yay! Tinny! Yay returns! Cue the music! You just heard some sort of music. I'll have to pick it. Maybe some award sort of theme. Who knows?
Can it just be someone playing like a tin can?
Dum. I'll splice that in.
Hambone.
Tinnies are back this week, folks. And what a category we have. Our favorite TV neighbors. There's been a lot of them. Been a lot of good ones. Me and Chris were talking about some of the better ones before the show started. Let's go to Brayan first. And Brayan, what was your favorite TV neighbor?
The quintessential TV neighbor.
Who gets the tinny?
Ned Flanders.
Very good one.
Without a doubt. It's just Heidi Ho Neighborino. I was close to picking Wilson.
Oh, okay, good. I was say, don't you ruin my...
No. I was close to picking Wilson because I always loved the fact that you never saw his full face.
Yep.
Even though you practically could tell what his name, but it was just...
But he looked so different when they finally showed him.
Yeah.
You're just
he
like,
had a
what?
It was better when they had him hidden.
Yes, it was, though.
But just, there's no better neighbor of this, person that everyone loves to hate, which is, Homer's the only one that really hates him. It's Ned Flanders.
Right. And he's perfect in that he's the neighbor that is so good you have to hate him. He's better than you in every way, and you hate that he's better than you in every way.
He's gaining on us. It's a Geo Metro.
I mean, going back to that first episode, Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, which I watched recently because somebody gave me like the Christmas DVD where it's got a bunch of the Christmas episodes on it. That really encapsulates their relationship because Ned Flanders, he's a successful businessman. He's got his job. He's able to provide for his family well. He doesn't flaunt it. He's a good Christian and everything. And then you have Homer, who's the regular guy who works hard but always gets screwed over in some way or another. And he has to live and
He
contend
screws
with...
himself over.
Oh, in many ways, yes. But he's got to live and contend with this guy being, right across the fence and being compared to him constantly. In that way, Ned Flanders is great. Also, they sing Nacho Man together, so that was great.
Nacho
Also,
Man.
he's got a sick-ass Beatles collection.
He does. And... Yeah, he does. He's a cut man.
He is.
Him and Willie go hit in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like 65. He's a senior citizen. Didn't think about that, did you?
No.
So you love him twice because he's old.
Yeah, but I can't love them the same way.
Gross. Yeah. Very good one, Brayan. Anything else to add? Or you want
No, that's it. Ned Flanders.
Fair enough. Mike, let's go to you because the mic is in front of you now.
Okay.
What was your tinny for favorite TV neighbor?
Cosmo Kramer.
Another good one.
Yes. Not the conventional neighbor because they're in an apartment building.
That's true.
And he's across the hall, technically. But the way the camera shows it, it's a very short hall. They're at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
And he makes the show. If he wasn't on the show, it wouldn't be funny.
Especially in some of those the first season, he did add a lot of comedy to it.
I mean, what hasn't he done when he adopts the highway?
Yeah.
I love that when he
Mr.
paints...
Movie Fun?
Yeah, Mr.
Why don't you just tell me the
Why
name?
don't you just tell me the
movie
name
you
of
want
the
to
movie?
see?
You chose Agent Zero.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
When he accepts the Tony for somebody, he runs on stage with them.
Yeah. When he finds parts of the talk show set.
Oh yeah, the Merv Griffin show.
Yeah, the Merv Griffin. Yeah.
When he get the hawk, was it a hawk or an owl? But he gets on the show and like they attack.
I think it was a hawk. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good episode because they start. Jerry starts playing with his girlfriend's vintage toys.
I don't know.
And then Kramer like has her hidden in the
Oh,
back.
yeah,
or something.
Yeah, he gives her like NyQuil or something.
He also takes George's in-laws on a carriage ride, and he fed the horse beefarino.
Yeah,
it's like a party. He's just, it's hilarious. The Kenny Rogers chicken.
Yeah.
When he accidentally poisons, he's at the Cinco de Mayo store and they had free nachos, and he took one of those. They're supposed to keep the.
Oh yeah,
the silicone bowls or whatever they are.
Yeah. When he works at the bagel shop and he goes on strike.
Do you remember when he buys the Merv Griffin set?
He gets buy things out of the garbage.
Oh, that's right.
You're just talking about it.
Yeah.
All right, obviously, cut.
Oh, when he picks up the Cubans and people think he's talking about cigars and it's
Oh
actual
my God.
Cubans.
When he hosts George's the guys from Japan
in the
and
drawers.
he puts them in the drawers.
It's just great. He's just.
Oh, just saw the episode today where he goes swimming in the East River.
Yeah.
And he just stinks.
And he ruins Elaine's mattress.
Oh yeah. It's good.
He's
stuff.
great, and it speaks for itself that they had to basically stop tape when he entered the room because people were cheering for so long they couldn't go on.
Yeah.
He's great.
He opens the door a specific way. His funny hairstyle.
Yeah.
His racism.
I was just gonna say that.
I win. I win.
Okay, you win. You win.
Back
this
to
time.
I might not listen when you guys talk, but I win.
Back to Backstrom.
But yeah, no, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Cosmo Kramer. My pick, and I think Chris is going to chime in here also.
Yeah.
George Feeny. George Feeny from Boy Meets World. So many reasons to love George Feeny in terms of the character. One of the good reasons he's a great TV neighbor is that he's a very good interpretation of the idea. He's not just the guy next door who gives you advice. You know, this Boy Meets World was a kid's show predominantly, and he's Corey Matthews' teacher and later principal. And you get so much potential comedy just coming out of that concept. And it works so well within the series. You know, Corey sneaks into his teacher's house because his teacher's away. Maybe Corey gets caught cheating because Mr. Feeney's next door. So much can come out of that. Also, you have William Daniels, the actor, who's fantastic in the role of George Feeny. I can't imagine anyone else doing it as well.
You mean Kit?
Kit, Knight Rider.
You know what it is, though? For me, it was always I couldn't get past the fact that he was their principal.
Yeah.
And I would hate to have my principal as my neighbor. But if he or she was like Mr. Feeny, and, you know, that parental role and wanted to see the kids do well and all that stuff.
And that's why, you know, William Daniels is so great because he plays it wonderfully. I keep talking about this every time we get back to Girl Meets World, but one of the main things I hate about that show is Ben Savage's character. He's not a teacher and he's not a fun-loving dad. He's like somewhere in the middle and he doesn't know what he wants to be. The charm of William Daniels and George Feeny on Boy Meets World is that he's an authoritarian. You know, he is clearly a teacher. He wants to keep his students aligned. And the charm of his character comes in that he still really is looking out for the best in his students. And the students come to realize that what he's saying is right.
But he was also the principal, right?
He was the principal
later.
Okay.
Yeah, when they go to high school.
Yeah. First season, he's the teacher, and then he moves with them, and he becomes the principal. Then in college, he's like professor. He's just like one of them. But yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Also, he's a great dispenser of advice, not only to Corey, but to the whole family. There's actually a really good scene in the first season when he's talking to Alan about him not being able to spend time with his dad and listening to one of the presidents talking. It's actually a really good scene. Chris, I've been kind of hogging it here. What's your choice for TV neighbor?
It's
favorite
Mr.
TV neighbor?
Feeny.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I think that was already chosen.
Yeah, pick a new one.
Yeah, well, no.
Why do you love Mr. Feeny?
I don't know. He's just, well, first of all, he's old and he's fantastic. And he's just like such a font of wisdom and he's always there when you need him. But at the same time, he also kind of gets annoyed when like, he's like, I just want to, you know, garden. I don't want to be helping kids like figure out their life. And he always seems to get pulled into that role.
And especially in the later seasons when he was pretty much teamed up with Eric. You know, their interplay between the two of them is just so great.
Oh my god.
You get the Feeny call, which alone warrants his nomination for this Tinny.
Mr. Feeny? Mr. Feeny! Mr. Feeny! Mr. Feeny! Feeny! I'm just... Feeny! 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 Hey, what? What? Hey! Ow!
I love the Feeny call.
He's great. Absolutely great. George Feeny.
I'll tell you who my favorite non-TV neighbors are. It's the people on the other side, not you guys. You suck.
It's the Asian folks next door who like to exercise in the front.
No, that's the Hispanics next to the Asians.
Oh, it's like Muscle Beach out there in the
No,
summer.
but it is you guys. How,
it's like setting up kettlebells, like doing
how
lunges.
Funny that you pick that Tinny, and we've been neighbors for 22.
Gonna be 22 this year.
22 years.
Gonna be 22 in August.
That's pretty crazy. I was 3. Al was 1.
I was 1.
Chris was 5.
Remember it fondly.
Yep.
Brian was 22.
Bro, you were in college already? In the early 90s?
No. Brian was, if Chris was 5, Brian was 7.
9.
Yes. No, Brian's 9.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, because Phil is 10 years older, so Brian's 8. Yeah.
That's right. Wow, 9.
Crazy things.
And here we are.
And my favorite neighbor
is May.
Bless you.
Wild card.
Never stop rolling in your shopping cart.
Wild card, bitches.
Oh yeah, you know, they're all up on our podcast.
Hey, you never know who's listening to Antenna Heads. But I do know where you can follow us. But Chris is going to tell you instead of me. Chris, where can they
I thought we were
us?
going to like switch everything around today.
No.
Well, you can follow us on the street.
That's right. In your shopping cart.
You know, stalking.
Target or better.
Rolling. Riding dirty. Riding dirty because you never throw your garbage out. There's a reference nobody gets.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Or you can follow us on Twitter, like non-stalkers, unless you like our posts from like 5 months ago and then kind of a
Do
stalker.
it. Somebody liked one of our posts about, or favorited one of our posts about Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah, that's what Chris is talking about.
Oh, it was mine. It was mine.
No, it was mine.
Liar.
It was the one just saying, "Hey, we're going to be tweeting."
I thought it was
the
one I posted with Pikachu,
Pikachu?
and how cute his hat was.
I'm going to get back into Pokemon because I'm lonely.
You want to learn English?
I'm lonely and I need something to fill my time with.
Because you want to learn English.
Not a job or anything. Pokemon will do.
That's right. Got to catch them all, including those unemployment checks. You were saying
you had to.
Hey, you have to be employed.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to have a job first. Anyway,
money.
Break it to him easily.
You can follow us on Twitter at @antenna_heads. You can tweet us about any new shows you're watching, or let us know who your favorite TV neighbor is. You can listen to old episodes on our website, broadcast.com, and you can comment in our forum or on the posts themselves. You can listen to us on TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, or our site, like I said.
Absolutely.
And you can rate us in all those places except our website, because that would be weird.
We already know how good we are.
But yeah, it's always helpful. So.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it now. Do it twice. Just like that duck over there. Anyway. On that bombshell of a note, I want to thank Cristina at ChrisConkers.com. Check it out. Wonderful blog for not only romance novel reviews, but also beauty tips and beauty reviews of many cosmetic products. Beauty tits. That's my blog.
That's my new blog.
Don't go there, though. I also want to thank Brian Casas, photo blogger extraordinaire, over at b911b.com. B911b photo on Instagram. Cristina is, of course, Corral on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
Brian has a B911b photo. No, sorry, B911b22 on Twitter.
Yeah, because
I'll get it eventually. I'm doing this off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Also want to thank special guest Michael Casas for being here. Thank you,
Who
Mike.
does nothing on his spare time and just sits at home.
He has no spare time. He's too busy being wonderful
Having
in
a
every
girlfriend.
way. Having a girlfriend.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Wish I had spare time. No.
You left the house.
Follow Mike over at MCasas7, is it? On Twitter?
Oh, yeah, I haven't used it in like 5 years, but yeah.
Follow him anyway.
MCASAS7.
And on Instagram also?
Chunky Lover 69.
There it is. Follow him there.
No, I'm private on Instagram. Don't follow me.
He's a private chunky lover. So I want to thank them all.
Oh,
and
Snapchat him.
Snapchat him. You can probably find mine on one of those leaked Snapchat lists. Send me offers for, I don't know, prostitutes or whatever. It's all
vacuums.
They got it off of Pornhub's website.
It's Alex Arujo, ELALEX.
ARAUJO.
Why are you telling everyone?
Why not?
Send him dick pics.
Dick
Come on.
pics appreciated. And on that bombshell, I want to thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time on Antenna Heads.